What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Nephew Boy, and today I'm back with another video. And today I just want to talk a little bit about more of my weight loss. Now I want you to think, alright, now I know I've been making all these weight loss update videos and stuff like that, but I never really elaborate more so on my life aspect of them. I just kind of give you the idea of my weight loss, right? Well, in today's video I want to talk to you about like pretty much the beginning and the beginning of, you know, my weight loss and stuff like that, just to kind of give y'all an idea. It'll be like a three-parter. I'll tell y'all about my weight loss, I'll tell y'all what's happened during my weight loss, and then on the last video I'll tell y'all pretty much where I'm at least at the time being of that weight loss. And my goal is that if I can find some of y'all that might relate to how I felt before, and hopefully that can motivate y'all to change, you know, something in y'all's life or whatever, that's honestly what I'm reaching for. With all that being said, let's just go ahead and get started. Now, a little pre-disclaimer, I don't want any of y'all to think that I'm a sad dude. I kind of was at a point in time, alright? I don't want y'all to think I'm making excuses, alright? This is what I was doing, not what I'm doing, okay? There's a difference. But anyway, let's take it off. Alright, so, you know, growing up myself, I'd always been a big dude. You know, y'all heard me talk about this. I think I talked about it in my first weight loss video, where I was always a big dude, and that's how I always pretty much saw myself as. That I was always going to be that big dude. People in school would always know me as the big dude. Big Ray. That was always what I was called. And you know, like out in public, out and about, you know, I would always put on this happy persona that I was always very happy and I didn't care too much about my weight, but in the end I did. You know, my senior year when I went to school, I remember I did a diet with my sister before, and it was that military diet, and once we finished, I was 305 pounds after. So that really put in my head, like, dude, I'm really just a big fucking dude, like, it sucks. In my head, I'm thinking how bad it sucks, but in person, I'm trying to let everybody know, like, I'm okay with it, and I'm fine with it, I don't care. I don't know why I did that. I don't know if it was just because I was too afraid to admit the truth that I was hurting about it, but I just didn't. You know, my depression skyrocketed. You know, I had social anxiety a lot. I always thought that people would just think that I was a fat nobody. That's why they didn't really like me that much. You know, that's just how I was. And you know, there was one picture that really stood out to me, and I wish I had it for y'all, but unfortunately I do not actually. But it was a picture of me and a good friend of mine. Well, me and her, we used to talk a lot, you know, in high school. We don't really talk much today. Like, yeah, every now and then we'll text each other like, hey, how you been? What you up to? Blah, blah. But, you know, me and her used to be really close. Or at least as far as I was aware. But she had, I remember, taking a picture, right? And, you know, she's smiling and laughing in the picture and everything, and then you just see me in the background laughing too. But I was kind of disgusted with how I looked, you know, like as much as I told her, I was like, oh, it's a good picture, I like that picture. I really didn't, because I was just like, oh man, I'm fucking ugly. Like on the inside, that's what I'm thinking, but I always put myself in this persona that, nah, I'm fine, you know, I'm just being a baby about it, you know, that's kind of how I felt. So she ends up uploading the picture, and it's all good or whatever, but in the end, like I said, I just wasn't really feeling it. But that senior year, I decided to start playing basketball with some of my boys, you know, Arturo, which y'all heard of, my boy Thomas, my boy Josh, you know, a lot of us, we just started playing basketball, and especially Thomas's brother Carlos, because I had him for a PE class that year, because I had never taken a PE class in like freshman year. So I was playing basketball, and people were kind of noticing that I was losing a bit of weight, and that actually felt kind of good, because people were like, man, Ray's actually losing like some weight. I think I dropped down to like 270 or something like that. I lost like 30 pounds just because I was playing basketball like every other day or so, you know, like every day. Well, you know, it was all fine and dandy until finally after high school. You know, I was, like I said, I was about 270 at the time, and then I started working at Taco Bell. Yeah, so pretty much what would happen there is I would get to work. Sometimes if I felt like it, I would eat before clocking in, and then when I went to lunch, I would go eat real quick like at Taco Bell, and then dinner I would just bring home whatever, you know, I wanted really from Taco Bell, or I would just go and stop at like Whataburger, McDonald's, or whatever along the way. Now the problem with that is obviously eating so much fast food in one day, it's not good. You can tell me this, I can tell y'all that. I can vouch for the fact that it is not good at all. And that's what I was doing for the longest time. So obviously my weight had skyrocketed, yes, I am pretty sure. Now, I was working there for about a year and a half. I even became a manager. Once I became a manager there, the meals became free, and that was even a hassle. Well, don't get me wrong, I do love my time at Taco Bell because a lot of the people that I met and everything like that, a lot of good fucking people that I still kind of talk to this day. I mean, I don't really talk to them, but I do follow them on Instagram, and they're still such good fucking people. But I just hated it because it really just put me in a very unhealthy state. Alright, now because of this, my depression is getting worse because I'm just eating nothing but fast food. I'm not doing anything to change my life, and it was just bad, like really bad. Like there were times, man, where I would go home and I wouldn't want to do anything but sleep. I felt like I needed to be in bed. Okay, so if I went in at 5 p.m., right? Because, okay, I would pretty much work night shift. So I would work like 5 p.m. to like 2 a.m. or 1 a.m., right? So when I would get home from work at like 2 a.m., I would be in bed by 6 a.m. just so that way I could wake up at 4 p.m. so I can get up and go to work. That's like 10 hours of sleep. Why I was doing that, I don't know. Why I was sleeping so fucking long just because I needed to go that energy for work, I'm not too sure. And it was weird. I don't know if that's because of my, my eating habits, and it was just like downplaying me and just downgrading and everything like that, or if that was just because of, I don't know. I really don't know how to explain it, and that's the problem that I have with it. But I would need like 10 hours of sleep just so I can go and do my shift at work. I would prefer it. And on my days off, man, I didn't want to do shit at all. Like I just wanted to be home just so I can just relax and then just go to work the next day. Like it was bad. Well, about a year and a half later after starting at Taco Bell, finally I'm putting in my 2 weeks because my boy Arturo was going to be in at this other job, Lowe's. Alright, so I've been working at Lowe's right now for about 2 years or so, and honestly, when I first started there, I realized it was a lot more harder work because now I'm having to actually move around and do shit. But, at the end of the day, it's like, I was moving around, So during my first time there, I realized that I kind of was starting to lose weight a bit because my belt, was starting to go further than it was before. So, well, my belt, whenever I would do it around my waist, and it would just go into like the first loop. But, after some time, it started going into the third. Like I realized that I lost some weight there, or at least some inches on my waist or something like that. Now, granted, once I went to Lowe's, my sleeping patterns got more back on track. I could only use 8 hours of sleep, and I would still wake up for work, and I was more willing to go out and stuff like that. But the whole point is that now is at the time where I'm pretty much getting to wanting to lose weight, because now here I am. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, in 2019 I decided that I wanted to lose weight, but I unfortunately didn't, and I just found myself back at square one. Now a lot of this has to do with the fact that, now I'm not making excuses here, but I'm telling you pretty much what I'm thinking at the time. So at the time, I'm surrounded by negativity a lot. So, my family's, my mom and dad are separated, and I really never talked to my mom at all. And then, not only that, we're broke. We have no money because my mom's out of the picture, and it's only my dad to take care of us and stuff like that. So, obviously, now I'm filled with anger, and I'm filled with frustration, and then I can't lose the weight, so I'm thinking like, man, I'm just stuck in this rut. There's nothing gonna change and shit like that. And that's what I was thinking at the time, right? I was kind of using that as an excuse, like, oh, my life is shit, so it's always gonna be shit. There's no changing it. Luckily, that was just how I thought at that time period. So fast forward to 2020. Alright, now my sister's telling me that her and her friends want to do a diet. Alright, y'all heard about this in my first video, and I'm obviously like, okay, yeah, I'll go on it with you. And then obviously you guys know kind of the rest of the story, but I'll be sure to save all that for my next video. So I want to thank you guys for listening to this. This is pretty much the beginning of before I started my dieting and all that. And my next video is going to be about pretty much my dieting process and my mental change. And I do apologize, like I said, if this first video sounds like I was kind of depressing at a point in time, because I'm not going to lie, I was, alright? Thankfully, all that has changed, yes. And if you want to know how it changed, where it changed, just stick around for the next video, because I'm going to explain it in that video. But other than that, I want you guys to be safe out there. Stick around for that second video. That way y'all can kind of see where I went during the diet and how it went. And y'all can see how my mental state changed during that time. Until then, I'll see you next time. Y'all guys have a good one.